July 21st, 2016. Today was incredibly action-packed, like ridiculously action-packed. I'm so happy that I made the decision to get up at 3:30 a.m. and so that I could catch the 4:30 a.m. train. So I got up, packed up my stuff, walked over to the train station, bought my ticket, 4:30 train out to Pisa, and I was there at just before 6. So it was like the sky was just starting to get light, and I walked through Pisa, like all the medieval part, and it was unbelievable. Like, nobody was up yet, and just walking across the bridge over the river and then into, like all these medieval streets. And then finally getting to where the tower is, and then just sitting down and just looking at it as the sun was lighting up the sky, and still looking at it while the sun was actually like rising, and the sun started hitting the tower, and it was just so beautiful. And to have the place to myself was just magical. Like, it was just so peaceful and so quiet, and the tower was even more beautiful than I thought, and it made me think back to watching the sunrise at the Taj Mahal, and that same sort of effect where it's like the stunning bluish sky, and then this white marble, and this very iconic building that just straight up into the sky. No, not straight up into the sky, way off on an angle into the sky. And it was certainly more leaning than I thought it was. And then so I had my time there, and I knew that the ticket office didn't open until 8. So after I had spent a good while just taking it all in, I went back through the medieval streets and just wandered aimlessly and went into the little squares and everything. Went back down by the river, and then came back to the tower, first in line to get a ticket. And surprisingly, it wasn't like at even 7:30, 8 o'clock. There was barely anybody there. And so I got my ticket to climb up the tower. I wasn't even expecting to be able to climb up the tower at all. I didn't even think you could still do that. And so the time that I had to climb up the tower was 8:30, so I just kind of hung around. And then at 8:30, I was the very first person, so mark my words, very first person of July 21st, 2016, to get to the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and just to look out over everywhere. And it totally plays with your head to be in this tower that is at such an angle. Like, I'm pretty sure I was going up steps, but I was still going down. It was really weird, because you're just like spiraling through this tower until you get to the top, and then there's another little tiny bit. And it's pretty narrow up at the top, but it's beautiful, and you can see all the bells and everything that are up there, and then you can look straight, because it's all hollow, and so you look straight down the middle of the tower to the very, very base of it. It's a pretty unbelievable experience. So I was really stoked that I had made that decision, because if I had been even an hour later, if I'd gotten up at 4:30 a.m. and caught a later train, it just wouldn't have had the same feeling. And it also put me in a really good time. So because I had explored the city before actually climbing the tower, once I had climbed the tower, I was done. I had seen pretty much everything that I had wanted to see, and wandered around everywhere. So I walked back to the station and took the train back to Florence. and I went to the statue of David, which was pretty cool as well. And then once I had seen David, I went back to the Duomo because I still had this ticket that I'd only used for the bell tower. And so I went inside the Duomo and underneath the Duomo to look at all the different historical layers of the church throughout the years. And then I went outside and then into the, probably have the wrong word, but I think it's like the basilica or something. It's a building that's outside of the Duomo that sits right in front of it. And to me, that was way more beautiful than actually inside the Duomo. It was all cool. I'll post the video of it, but it had this huge ceiling that was all it looked like it was covered in real gold, and it had like 1 million paintings, and hard to describe. I'm sure the video will do a much better job of kind of showing it. But yeah, it was just really cool to see all these little things that that had been painted or carved or something into this whole building, like all on the inside of it. I definitely was not expecting that. And then, so from there, I went, so I went back to the station, the train station, and then caught a train out to Bologna, and then had a very, very, very super short walk around Bologna, like just sort of around the train station. I had a half an hour stop over there, so it was just really like get some food around the train station and then get back on a different train, but going to Remini, which is where I am right now. But once I got to Remini, I got off the train, and it was like perfect timing to catch a bus to San Marino, which is a place that I remember from the computer game Where in Europe is Carmen Sandiego, which I played when I was just a little kid, and I loved that game. I absolutely loved that game. And then I just remember San Marino being one of the places in the game, and so because it was in my head, like I didn't really know why I was going there, or there, today. I just knew that I had to, because as a kid I had played this game and in the computer world gone to San Marino 1,000 times before. And I'm really happy that I did, because it was beautiful, like probably the most beautiful place that I have been to in Italy. And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It sits, San Marino is like a bigger area, but because it's its own country, sort of within, its own country within Italy. So it's like 60 square kilometers, I'm not too sure, but it's bigger, it's certainly bigger than the Vatican City, which is its own country as well. This actually has suburbs and stuff. So it was about an hour from Remini to the World Heritage Site, which is the medieval, the medieval town city of San Marino, and it has the castle and fortresses and these beautiful streets and just places to just get lost in, and views that were unbelievable. Like, you just look out over Italy all the way out to the coast, and it really was beautiful, incredibly beautiful. And it was also really nice that it was entirely free to walk around this medieval city and just enjoy it and not have to think too much about time. And so I spent quite a while there, and then I took the bus back into Remini, and then